Hey everyone, welcome back to Sarah's Bean Kitchen. Today I want to talk to you about my favorite sauces and spices and seasonings, things that I use to make food taste good and still keep it relatively healthy most of the time. I want to start out with spices. If you've been watching a lot of my recipes, you'll know that my holy trinity is onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika. These three are just the perfect all-purpose combination. It's amazing on grilled tofu, on popcorn with a little bit of nutritional yeast. We'll get to nooch later. I like adding it to all of my seitan and mock meat recipes because it just creates a nice savory base. And I personally am of the opinion, I know some would disagree, that you can't really add too much onion and garlic to anything, really. So sometimes I'll still add these even if I have a good amount of fresh onion and garlic in a recipe, and it just adds extra depth. It's good in sauces, stews, soups, everything. On an everyday basis, I pretty much just use these, but sometimes I'll mix it up and I'll use a spice blend. I tend to go for the ones that are salt-free so I can just add however much salt I want to at the end. I have Italian seasoning blend, I've got a Cajun creole blend that I think is really nice on baked fries, a little bit of spicy. I have a fajita seasoning blend and a chili lime blend that I like using on my Taco Tuesdays. Sprouts and Trader Joe's are my favorite places to buy spices. At Sprouts there's almost always at least one brand on sale and I'll just buy that. And then Trader Joe's, very, very cheap spices. They just don't have as great of a selection. But speaking of Trader Joe's, I've also been really obsessed with their everything but the bagel seasoning blend. It has sesame seeds, poppy seeds, sea salt, garlic, and onion, and it's good on pretty much anything. I love putting it on my avocado toast. Let's talk about sauce. Topic about which I'm very passionate, as you may know. Island Soyaki, which is basically teriyaki sauce sweetened with pineapple juice. My favorite thing of all time. I get it at Trader Joe's. So this is my favorite, but I'm cool with pretty much any teriyaki sauce. If I'm at Sprouts or Safeway, I usually get the Soy Vey brand. You just want to check with teriyaki sauce that it's not sweetened with honey. If I had to choose one meal to eat for the rest of my life, teriyaki-glazed tofu, side of rice, side of steamed broccoli, easy. Also, sometimes if I want to make an Asian peanut sauce, I'll just take teriyaki sauce, stir in a spoonful of peanut butter and thicken it on the stove and it's perfect. Number 2 favorite sauce, sweet chili sauce. I don't really have a specific brand loyalty, but this is the Mayo one. I usually get the huge container. Great dipping sauce for spring rolls or vegan gyoza. I love tossing crispy tofu in this. I have a recipe for that. I'll link down below if you want to check it out. But I will say this sauce and teriyaki sauce, pretty high in sugar. Not super healthy, but when I use them, I'm just mindful of my serving sizes. I'll use a tablespoon or 2. I guess what I'm saying is please use responsibly. I always have some sort of tomato-basil marinara pasta sauce on hand. Growing up, my dad swore by homemade pasta sauce. He would only use the Cento San Marzano tomatoes, the kind in the yellow can. I have so many happy memories of that, but nowadays I'm just way too lazy to make pasta sauce from scratch, so always buy just whatever's cheapest. Usually this is the Trader Giotto's tomato basil marinara. If you're doing the no oil thing, I know Engine 2 makes an oil-free pasta sauce that's available at Whole Foods. I just add this to my pastas, my vegan pizzas, and then if I'm having a really lazy night and I don't have time to put together a proper meal, sometimes I'll just heat up some rice and frozen peas, frozen corn, lentils, and stir in a ton of this pasta sauce, and it just instantly makes things taste flavorful. Let's talk about hot sauce. I use a couple kinds. I go through phases. Sriracha, everyone should have some of this. I used to think this was really spicy, and now I don't think it's spicy at all. I put this on all of my Asian inspired dishes. If I'm making something Mexican or Southwestern inspired, I usually use cholula. I like their chili garlic one especially. I just have the original right now. And then my all-purpose hot sauce. Sometimes, even when I'm using one of these, I'll still put Frank's on top of it. I have the buffalo one, their regular one is good as well. The buffalo sauce, it says, has natural butter type flavor in it, but it's vegan. PETA says so. So these are my favorites. When it comes to hot sauces, I don't really feel the need to branch out that much. Pretty loyal to these. Yeah. If you've been watching me for a while, you've seen this coming. Another one of my favorite combinations is Thai curry paste. I have green and red. I use them pretty much interchangeably at this point. With coconut milk. For me personally, it has to be the full fat coconut milk because that's what gets super creamy and it's just amazing when you douse your rice with it. But reduced fat's fine too, I guess. I eat some kind of coconut curry rice vegetable dish at least once a week. I always get my curry paste from an Asian market because you can get these huge tubs and it's a lot more cost effective than buying the tiny little bottles at like Safeway or other mainstream groceries. But I always say this, you have to check for fish or shrimp ingredients for the curry paste. Next, let's talk about mayo. Not for too long though, because what else is there to say about mayo other than that I'm constantly fighting my deep urge to put it on everything, on my body, in my hair. This Just Mayo is my favorite brand. Vegenaise, Vegenaise, whatever. That's good too. But this you can get at Target for super, super cheap. I don't know why it's so much cheaper at Target, but it is. Their ranch dressing is also so good. I think that mayo makes every single carb taste better. Mayo on potatoes, mayo in pasta, mayo mixed into rice. Also, someone once recommended to me that you use mayo instead of butter when you're frying grilled cheeses, and it tastes so good. I like having the smaller one and just refilling it out of a larger tub because I just find it really convenient to be able to squeeze mayo onto each individual bite of things. My heart rate is actually elevated just from talking about mayo. Let us move on, please, to a healthier source of fat. Tahini. So I have some roasted garlic, which is so good. I also have some just plain unsalted tahini. Got both of these at Sprouts, pretty affordable. I think this goes on sale pretty often as well. And I just like adding this, add a little bit of water at a time to thin it out, and it gets super fluffy. And then I add a squeeze of lemon, pinch of salt, and it just makes an amazing dipping sauce for potatoes, for veggies. It's amazing on sweet potatoes. I also like to use it as salad dressing. Sometimes I'll add like dill or other fresh herbs into it. But I always have to have some sort of fat in my salad dressing. Otherwise it's not satisfying to me. I don't mess around with the fat-free stuff. So either avocado or tahini, and it just makes it super creamy and delicious, and it has a good amount of protein in it as well. You can also use tahini as a substitute for oil in a lot of baked goods. So you can make tahini cookies, tahini brownies, or you can use really any nut butter. This is just a good option if you're allergic to nuts. So tahini must have. Totally forgot to mention earlier when I was talking about spices, nutritional yeast. I don't know if that technically qualifies as a spice, but it is dry and powdery and delicious. So nutritional yeast, good on everything. It makes things more savory. It has some good vitamins in there, some B12. I add it to all of my mock meat and cheese dishes. Thankfully, nowadays in California at least, I can find this at most grocery stores. Trader Joe's now carries it. I think it's only a couple bucks, which is cool. At Safeway, I find it in the bulk bins, and then Whole Foods and Sprouts, they have the Bragg's version on the shelf. They also usually carry it in their bulk bins. I can't tell any difference brand to brand, so I say just get whatever is cheap and accessible to you. Also really quickly wanted to mention, for those of you who might be trying to avoid gluten, that coconut aminos and liquid aminos are a really nice alternative to soy sauce. I use these both pretty much interchangeably with soy sauce. They don't taste exactly the same, but they give the same effect. I have one sweet thing to talk about. Maple syrup is my preferred sweetener. This and coconut sugar, I'd say. Always buy the big jug because it's the most cost effective. If you have a Costco membership, maple syrup is very cheap there. I like adding this into my beverages, like hot beverages, tea, coffee. I like baking with it when possible. I like to add it into my oatmeal and my smoothie bowls. I just like the flavor. Occasionally, I'll use agave, rarely. So these are the things that I use to make food tasty and interesting. Please leave your favorite sauces or spices down below. I would love to know. And I will see you in my next video. Bye. Spices and what I use to make food. T to the A to the S-T-E-Y, girl, you tasty. Tasty, tasty. T to the A to the S-T-E-Y, girl, you tasty. I just eat Taco Bell's hot sauce on its own. I be up in the gym, just working on my fitness. He's my witness. But another one of my favorite combinations is smash and bang.
Smash and bang is my favorite combination.
Pretty good.
So delicious. My body stay vicious. I be up in the gym, just working on my fitness. He's my witness. I put your boy on rock, and he be lining down the block just to watch what I got. So delicious.